Okay, welcome back. We're moving on to adding fractions this week. Specifically, we're looking at fractions where the denominators, the bottom numbers, are the same. Okay, last week we were looking at ordering fractions. If we're still a bit shaky on that, maybe we need to go back to those videos before we start having a look at these videos. It's absolutely fine, but today I'm going to move on. Now, when we're adding fractions, okay, the denominators have to be exactly the same. Okay. Now, if you remember back to ordering fractions, we had that same issue as well, where the denominators were different. We had to change them, we had to adjust them to make sure the denominators were the same. With these ones, obviously, the denominators are the same, so we don't have that problem, but we will look at that in the next lesson. So if we look at these, okay, a couple of things to remember on adding fractions, okay? When the denominators are the same, okay, you never ever add them. Okay, so if that's a 7 and that's a 7, it's not 14 at the end, it's still 7. We never add the two denominators, okay? Don't ever make that mistake, please. Okay, this just tells us what we're measuring out of. So we're measuring a seventh. How many sevenths have we got? If we've got 2 sevenths and we add 3 sevenths to it, we end up with 5 sevenths. Okay, so what we're doing in this, we never add the denominators, we only add the numerators, the top number. Okay, 5 out of 7, 5 sevenths for the first one. Second one then, okay, the denominators are the same. Okay, do we add the denominators? No, we don't. So we end up with 17 as our denominator in our answer. 8 plus 3 then is 11. Okay, so it's 11/17. All right. This one's slightly different, and I'll show you why in a minute. Okay. First of all, though, okay, we're dealing with tenths. Okay, just like we did there, we're not going to add the tens together, so we're still out of 10. Okay. However, this time we're going to add them, and we're going to get 11. Now, what we've got here, okay, is a top-heavy fraction. It's where the top number, the numerator, is bigger than the denominator, okay, the bottom number. When that happens, we need to change that fraction around, okay? We need to make it look better. So the way we do that, okay, we look at how many of the bottom number, okay, if you think about our times tables, how many of the bottom number goes into the top number. Now, there is 110 in 11, okay? So what we're left with is 1, and then we're left over with 1, and it's out of 10. So our final answer for this would be 1 and 1/10. What we're doing, okay, how many 10s are in 11? Okay, there's 1 10, okay, with 1 remainder. There's 1 10 with 1 remainder. We're measuring in tenths, okay? Last one then, okay. Do we add the denominators? No, we don't add them because they're the same already. We're just measuring how many 15ths we've got. Okay, 6 plus 12 is 18. Now, what was a special name for this fraction that I used here, okay? This is a top-heavy fraction. We can't have that. We need to simplify and make it look nicer. So what we're going to do, how many 15s are there in 18? Okay, if you think about your 15 times table, you've got 15, add 15 is 30. So we have 1 15 in 18 with 3 remainder. Okay. Now you can simplify that, okay, because you can divide them both by 3. Okay, so we get 1 and a fifth. Okay, so key points to remember, okay, and this is the success criteria for this topic. Okay, when we're adding fractions, you never, ever, ever add the denominators. Okay, what you need to do is just keep the denominator the same. The numerators then you add. So on this top 2, we added 2 and 3 to get 5. Over here, we added 8 to 3 and got 11. Here, we did exactly the same thing, but we ended up with a top-heavy fraction. So this is where we need to simplify it, and this is what you should be keeping an eye out. This is the harder end of this topic, okay? There is one. How many of the bottom number do we have in the top number? So there's 1 10 in 11 with 1 remainder. That's your fraction. Here, okay, we didn't add our denominators, obviously. We just added the numerators. 6 plus 12 is 18. So we end up with 1 and 3/15. But then we took it one step further and we simplified it. We divide them both by 3, we got 1 1/5. Okay, I'll give you a mixture of questions on this, okay, so don't worry too much. If you've got any questions, let me know. Otherwise, have a good day, guys.